Roll for Romance is a podcast featuring 5 friends thirsty for D20.
Hello and welcome to Roll for Romance. I'm your DM Emily, and with me I have 4 amazing adventurers. We are blessed today, for we have been visited once more by the romance angels. They have awakened from their slumber and are ready to tell us our romantic fortunes. So let's start with Holly/Faris. What has your angels said to you?
Passion.
Ooh.
Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy.
No, it says
Is Faris going to get one of those live, laugh, love things to hang on her wall?
Well, she's going to get live, laugh, lich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea how that could, unless she's pretty happy about what happened the night before with the other members of the party who attended the oil wrestling.
Maybe just a phase of extra passion is coming in to your life.
Heck yeah, I'll take it.
What about Melee's?
He got new love, a new person to stir romantic feelings.
Whoa.
Is
I
it
wonder who it
Barclay?
could be.
No, I mean, it was definitely Torfine.
Yes.
And I think,
Ooh.
which sucks because he's probably never going to see her again. But
That makes the love
I
stronger.
think he's also kind of taking a seat back from Faris because after speaking with Faris, he's like, I don't want to get in the way of her and Lanny. And so
it's
he's probably-
complicated now.
It's complicated. He doesn't like complicated. It's not like a traditional sort of Alephian thing where it's like 3 people deciding to be together.
Yeah.
It's them 2 and then him 2. And so like for him, it's too messy.
Do you think
So I-
he's going to say that? Because he did say to Faris that, like, he was okay with it.
Yeah. I think he's definitely going to continue thinking about it. I think
Okay.
it was new, especially after meeting Torfine.
What about Hilrana?
Hilrana getting to know each other.
Hmm.
As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Which I think definitely has
Whoa.
happened with Hilrana and Sono. Because I think Hilrana definitely has a whole new appreciation for Sono and has been able to deepen her like understanding of him and really, I think, respects him as a person now and sees him more as a person rather than just some annoying dude who's dumb and keeps getting everybody kidnapped.
That's a big improvement. What about Lanny?
Lanny's card says, keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Lanny's usual type is, except for somebody who makes him really mad. And I think his expectations are really low.
Mhm.
So, like, any degree of success is going to differ from
That's
that.
true.
So that'll be good.
So maybe have higher expectations.
Yeah, maybe have higher expectations and stop getting into relationships with people based on arguments.
Meanwhile, Sono got the card, pay attention to the red flags.
Whoa.
The signs are
Okay.
cautioning you.
Oh.
And I personally do not interpret this to involve Hilrana. I interpret this to mean that he is most likely going to be interacting with Bernadette again.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I don't think
yeah.
Hilrana's done anything right. I think
No.
Hilrana's been actually pretty good and not.
Yes.
I think had she not had that conversation with him, then it may be like a red flag. Like, don't get too involved because she's not like involved.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
But you've been pretty forthcoming
Yeah.
with what you expect from
So,
things.
but Bernadette makes sense. I see it as another opportunity for growth for Sono.
Yeah. And as we know, that's what this whole podcast is about.
It's about
actually Sono's
character
journey.
arc.
I feel like it is.
It was definitely not intended to be, but apparently that's what's happening.
Oh, fancy. I just had the most wonderful evening last night. I hope that you had a good time at the Florgy. I know you always do.
But oh gosh, it was just such a delight. That muscular, handsome, just beast of a man, Miles. I get shivers thinking about the time we spent together. He may have bested me in the oil wrestling, but I think I got the upper hand during the after party. Oh, and that Barclay was such a delight. Who knew that his booty was that bountiful? I can't think of an evening that I've had recently that was more fulfilling. I'm sure we'll be seeing him again, don't you, Fancy? How amusing that the Prince of Claudia himself was here, wearing, shall I say, a subpar disguise. But I won't let that secret get out. Well, not unless somebody provides me the proper motivation.
Last time we had an encounter with Torfine the Pirate Queen, where you went to a nightclub and oil wrestled. And also you guys went shopping for a while, I remember before that. Miles has a pet goat who has not been named. Got some crabadashery, some crab hats, a penis hat. Other important things happened, but mostly it was that you were able to procure a gem from Torfine after besting her in oil wrestling, and then there was a fivesome that happened that didn't involve Sono. So we are going to actually fast forward a little bit in time. You were able to get your sword, Miles, from the blacksmith. You got the scabbard, Lanny, for Don Carlos, so now it is safe to go back into the skies. You are back on the Polished Pearl. You have left Lusca, and you are in the skies heading towards the Blackcloud Islands.
Can we first get a description of this goat?
Please, we need the goat details.
Yes. So has bilateral colorization, and so like the front half of it that contains the head is black, and the back half is white, and it's very, very long.
I want people to describe me as like the part of me that contains my head.
I just the head part. He has enormous horns that curve up and out, and his name is Larry.
Larry also does have a peg leg.
And he has a peg leg. I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's an important note. So what would you say that Larry's disposition is? Well,
ornery.
Ornery, okay. Probably not very happy that he's now trapped on a skyship with you.
He
Yeah, how does he
complains a
feel
lot,
about
but
that?
he knows that that is the way to get me to like do things for him, because Miles is already obsessed with the goat.
Okay.
And, like, always takes like an hour at night to like brush its hair out and get out all the nettles and like oil its
Oh.
This
horns.
goat is like hella shiny.
Yeah.
It's like a Pantene commercial.
Yeah, he's got the beautiful tresses.
Has he headbutted anyone off the airship yet?
I don't know. Has he? Maybe roll for that. How many people?
Yeah, you make an animal handling check versus his willpower save or wisdom save.
That's a 6,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
6.
Fortunately, Larry's wisdom save was very high. So you can't get him to listen to you, but he's able to restrain himself from actually headbutting anybody off
He
of
probably
the airship.
like threatens it a lot.
He does like
He's
those
"I'm
little
gonna do it, I'm gonna
charges, like
do
where he
it."
like charges at you,
Yeah.
like a little bit, and like
And
turns his head like sideways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then I'm like, okay, fine. let's
Everyone
go.
gives him a wide berth as they walk around.
Yeah, I feel like Lanny would be terrified of this.
Make an animal handling check,
terrified.
Lanny.
Are you-
Everybody
who's-
kind of see
who's
what the
scared of my
relationship
goat?
with Larry is.
relationship with Larry the goat.
Okay, yeah. Larry
One
is
is a 3.
Larry is pretty terrifying, not into Lanny.
So not once but twice have I run away crying
Oh, no.
from this goat.
Anytime you enter a room, you're like, wait,
Oh, is the goat
Where's the-
here? Oh god.
And then it's behind you when you turn around.
No.
I got a 19. Hilrana just like cool with this goat.
Let's see for Chadley. They're on neutral terms.
Faris got a 13.
Okay, yeah, it's fairly neutral. You can, if you're scared of goats, you cannot be into it, but the goat isn't antagonistic towards you like it is towards Lanny.
Yep.
I feel like she feels like kinship because of the horns
Oh,
and the
yeah.
tail, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And Sono got a 7, so similar boat of being
Yeah.
Nervous around
harassed.
this goat.
by
I
this
feel like the
goat.
goat senses your fear and it messes with you if it knows that you're afraid of
Definitely.
it.
Larry's a goat bully.
Other than that, it is mostly uneventful until you're about like a day out from arriving where Captain Anna was going to drop you all off. But you have some time as you're flying to make plans if you would like to, if you want to alter the original thoughts, which, as a reminder, Sona will tell you. Hey guys.
Now wait, does Miles understand that this is Sono yet?
No. Actually, no, he probably took his Ruffalo costume off while
Okay.
he is
Yeah.
traveling. When he gets to the island, he's going to have to put it
Okay,
back on
so
again.
like Sona, did you spend the whole time on the airship? You missed out on so much.
I felt like it would be safer if I stayed here.
That's probably right.
You notice like little bits of glue and a little bits of
Do I
like,
notice
beard
his
hair.
pinky?
That's true. Make
Is
a
he wearing a
perception check.
glove?
Yes, he's wearing one
forgot about the
singular white
pinkies.
glove. An 11. I don't notice
Yeah.
anything.
Oh, 11
I do
for
notice.
sure.
But
He
would
has your
Sono
pinky.
actually do that if he thinks that like Miles doesn't know that Ruffalo is Sono?
Would
And
Sono
Sono
want him to know
wants-
to be like, Miles?
Yeah,
it's
because Sono and
me.
Miles doesn't like Sono, but
or do you-
Miles is best friends of Ruffalo.
Yeah, would he hide it to keep
Yeah.
friendship with
Miles
Sona?
doesn't like Sono.
Miles likes Sono.
Oh, I thought
He
it was
doesn't
like kind of a
really
similar feeling of how Hilrana felt like
Yeah,
about
he
Sono,
thinks
just like
Sono's
he's
kind
a
of like an
dumbass.
adult who continually gets into
Yeah.
trouble and like
I
I
did
did not know that.
buddies.
No, I feel
Yeah,
like we
you
had
guys,
like a
like-
bonding about that one time where we were just like,
Okay.
he's a,
Then with the insight check that Sono did on Miles, I will say that he's wearing gloves now,
all right.
so you don't see the
I
pinky.
don't notice.
So you don't. So he's going to keep up the charade because he wants you to like Ruffalo
That's so sad.
when Ruffalo reappears. Where were we? Oh yes, Sono is going to talk to you about stuff. Sono conference time for the planning meeting. Those are the words I'm trying to
That's
say.
how he summons us.
He says, Sono conference time, planning meeting. We gotta talk.
Does he want us to meet? What is it?
So he will gather you all up on the deck once you understand
I was
his
napping.
Sono planning conference time. So yeah, we're getting closer to our destination, and I wanted to just check in that we all knew what was going on, if you all had any new plans, new inspirations since visiting the island that, I definitely didn't go to, so maybe you have a new insight that I don't.
Well, I do need to tell you something somehow.
Oh,
Now, I know sometimes I put on a little bit, but sometimes I do get genuine visions, and I did have a vision about Bernadette and Grant.
wait, really?
Yeah, I did. Bernadette was pretty much begging him to let her go, and he said no. But it didn't seem like it was a lover's spat. It seemed more like a prince and a prisoner.
What?
What? Yeah. What?
Hold on, he's
Yes.
holding her prisoner?
It seems so. She was anxious to be able to get in touch with you, Sono, and Prince Grant acted as though he was not going to let that happen.
How
What?
strange.
It's very strange.
That is.
I felt you should know that before you go into conversing with him.
Where
if
do,
that's still our plan.
do you know where these visions come from?
Well, they come from a source that I've relied upon before that I have found to be 100% strictly truthful.
Okay, well, I definitely believe you, Faris. That complicates things.
Well, I don't want to complicate things, but I did feel like you needed to know.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, Faris. I didn't mean like you're complicating things. That's
Oh,
really
okay.
important to know. Oh well, kind of a oh shit type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
So our previous plan, can we review that?
Absolutely. I would be happy to do that. It's not very complicated. Captain Anna was going to drop us off outside of the city of Boulder Rain, which is on the Isle of Ash, which is a smaller isle in the Blackcloud Islands. And then we would take a boat that I would hire for us to go to the mainland, the main island, and go to the capital where Grant would be. And then I think the plan was that we were going to try to get word to Grant either through sneaking in or finding somebody that would bring him a message. But it was more of a kind of like, we got to get there and see what things are like there situation.
Right. Faris, is there any way that this source of yours could get us any more information about the situation?
I can certainly ask.
I think we've all been operating under the assumption that Lear inspired them to have a romantic connection and they ran off together, but it doesn't seem like that's necessarily true anymore.
Well, I think that may have been the case. No, I just remembered when my contacts at the, did I ever tell them about the TSA?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Fantasy TSA.
Well, I have a contact at TSA who told me they saw Grant and Bernadette on the night they fled from Mirador, and it didn't seem terribly romantic when they fled the city.
Oh.
Now, I have no doubt they may have been caught in a delicate moment, as many people were at that wedding reception, but it may not have been more than a fleeting passion.
When you say many people were, Sono wiggles his eyebrows at Miles.
Mila's like, what?
Oh, yeah. Miles has forgotten about it.
Oh, Sam!
He's like,
They just
what?
made out. Just some
gives
nude
him a
oil
weird
wrestling
look.
makeout.
Yeah.
Just a casual Sunday nude oiling wrestling makeout.
Well, and they were under the influence of Lear, and so
Yeah.
I think he probably.
He's just like, why are you looking?
Yeah. He gives him a weird look back.
Okay, sorry.
But Lear
What are
also
you talking about?
Lear also makes people not just like sexually uninhibited, just uninhibited all around, right?
Right.
So it's possible that like maybe Bernadette was kidnapped in some way or tricked into coming. I guess I should be saying this as Hilrana.
You can say that was you as
And not
Hilrana.
as
It's fine.
that was me as Hilrana in a slightly different voice.
Hilrana, do you have a cold or something? Your voice sounds a little different.
I was up last night with you, remember? But, you know.
Well,
I do remember.
Okay, good.
You were with Ruffalo last night? What is...
I was with Ruffalo. After I was with Ruffalo, I went to go talk to Sona, and we talked for a
Yeah,
while.
purely just talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
All right.
voice
Don't want
is
you to do my
hoarse.
best friend like that.
No, it was strictly on you know.
So does in
I
this
need to make
scenario,
an
does
insight
Sono
check.
come out of his rooms every once in a while dressed as Ruffalo just to keep up?
No, I think like eventually, like whenever we're ready for him to be Ruffalo, Sona will be like, "Well, I guess I'll go back into hiding," and then
So Miles thinks Ruffalo is currently on the
Yes.
airship.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
maybe Hilrana had him put the Ruffalo costume
Yes.
back on too.
There we go.
Just to be like, hey,
Yeah.
you mind putting that beard back?
So he uses it for seductive purposes with Hilrana and bro friendship purposes with Miles because he gets
Yes.
sad that Miles doesn't like him.
No.
Oh boy. Anyway, I'm glad that we
now
cleared
that that's
up.
established,
Let's go back to the planning.
Sono, has Bernadette ever said anything to you about Prince Grant, like before all of this happened? I'm just wondering if she had previous feelings or sentiments that were amplified by Lear somehow.
No, I don't think they'd ever met before he arrived for the wedding. I worked a little bit with Bernadette to plan the fake kidnapping, but
What about the Blackcloud Islands in general?
I don't think she has anything to do with them. I don't think she was antagonistic towards them like Teresa Pineapple Bordeaux and her family.
Forgive me, I'm just trying to grasp at straws, I suppose.
No, I think that's an excellent point.
let's say that he did take Bernadette without her, like a kidnapping.
A real
Yes, a
kidnapping.
real kidnapping.
Don't get excited.
What?
No, I'm not. That makes me upset.
What would be the reason he would choose Bernadette to kidnap? Can you think of anything?
Maybe he wants you to follow. The whole plan was to get you to the Blackcloud Islands.
We could be falling
Whoa.
into a trap.
or maybe Celeste threatened to kill both of them when she caught him in a compromising position and he was just trying to save her life. We just don't know.
That tracks with what Celeste told me about what happened.
That's true.
Is that she caught them,
Right.
yelled at Grant, and they ran away.
He may have just been trying to protect her, but now he's...
But you're saying it could be all an elaborate trap.
It could be a trap. Or it could be a reason for Celeste and Grant to not stay married. It was a ruse by everybody.
Oh, God. Layers upon layers.
Layers.
Subterfuge.
I felt like Celeste and Grant genuinely liked each other, though.
Well, I
They
thought
don't know
were
each other,
pen
though.
pals for years before the wedding. That was part of the reason why the match was made. And also to unite the two kingdoms that had been at war previously. But so I definitely think there was a friendship there, but we were all under the influence of great passion that night, and jealousy is a passion.
I wonder if Celeste decided maybe she'd like to rule the kingdom on her own. Possible. So much.
My head hurts.
Why were they at war? Claudia and Blackcloud Islands?
The Blackcloud Islanders, about a century ago, had decided to try to secede from the Claudian Empire. They didn't agree with some of the tariffs and trade limitations that were being put on them. And so they left and created their own rulership, and we fought them for almost that entire time, trying to bring them back to the Empire. It stopped for the most part when my late father came into ruling, and there was an armistice. My father had planned on using the union of Grant and Celeste to finally unite the nations again, and the Blackcloud Islanders seemed amenable because they would be getting one of their own to become a ruler of these united countries. So it seemed mutually beneficial, but there are definitely some Cloudians that weren't into it. I don't know the minds of the Blackcloud Islanders.
Well, hear me out. I think we should just stick with the plan as it is. We don't have enough information to make a judgment like in any direction or another. So we're just going to have to get more information, which was kind of our plan to begin with.
I agree.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I am so glad that you all are here because I honestly would have never thought that it could be a trap.
We don't know, but yeah, we should keep all of this information. We just don't know what we're walking into for sure.
All right. So should we all be disguised? Do you think that the prince would recognize you or any of his people would?
So once we're there, what would you like to do, Sono? Did you have a plan, or is it?
My if I was going, when I was planning on going alone, it was going to be trying to find maybe somebody who worked at the palace and befriend them so that they could somehow get a message to him.
Or maybe one of us could
Yes.
pose as somebody who works at the palace to get more information.
I knew that on my own I wouldn't be able to get in there, and so I was hoping that I could use my charm or bribery to get somebody to help me out in as subtle a way as possible while laying low.
I do know someone who is charming. Is that Ruffalo?
I still haven't met him yet.
He's really great. You should. I think you have a lot in common.
Oh,
You'd really like each other.
I'm sure I would.
Yes, but he might be able to charm his way in.
For sure.
Very charming.
Okay, so you're saying Ruffalo should be our agent that charms this person, if that's the plan we're going for.
Another option would be that Ruffalo could say that he caught one of us as a spy and he's bringing us in.
Interesting. Because you do have connections to the Claudian royals, so
Yes.
you have been seen with them, so you could be a spy.
Ruffalo could say that he caught Sono
Whoa.
as a spy.
I don't know if that's
going
gonna work, Mila.
Yeah, I
I
don't know, like...
we don't want to give Sono away just in case.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
too dangerous
yeah.
I
for
think
me.
we should keep Sono on the ship.
Yes, Sono
For
will stay
sure.
on the ship for sure.
It
And
is-
I mean, I will stay on the ship. he's losing who he is in this moment.
Hilrana's just looking at him like, maybe you should go get a drink or something. So I'll sit down over there.
Who am I right now?
Touches his face.
Make sure to see, am I wearing a beard? I don't know. Since Grant is familiar with all of us, he may be intrigued if he finds out whoever was captured is one of us. And it may get us an audience.
He does owe us.
Because he does owe us a favor. And Ruffalo could capture all of us or just one of us.
Ruffalo could definitely capture all of us.
He definitely could.
So
Wow,
smart.
he sounds really impressive.
He's very impressive.
If I can get in the room with either Bernadette or Grant, it's possible that I could read their mind. It's a spell that I possess.
What if we could
Interesting.
demand that if we get an audience with Grant, we say we need to see Bernadette just to know that she's okay. And we could get her into the same room with us.
I'm not sure how we would be in a position to make demands.
I agree with Lamb.
If I can read his mind, maybe that'll give me some idea of what's happening.
Yes, I like that.
Technically, I could pretend to be any one of you.
Oh.
Although, it's always challenging.
Can you be Chadley?
Could you be Sono?
No, it has to be somebody who's the same size, roughly.
I think I can do that as well.
Wait,
Interesting.
what if one of you pretended to be me
All right.
and
Wait, I
I'd
can be
captured the
Chadley.
prince?
Let's all
That
be
makes
someone
no
else.
sense.
And we'll all
Makes no
switch.
sense.
This is a
Okay,
trading.
I be
I love this
Chadley.
episode.
You be Faris. You be Miles.
We'll get 50 parrots and put them in a man suit and pretend that's Sono.
Perfect.
I wouldn't tell the difference.
Miles wouldn't know.
But who's Miles going to be in this scenario? Because he can't disguise himself. Your evil twin?
Right.
I'll pretend to be Master Dominus Patatus.
Okay, I like it.
Isn't Dominus much uglier than you? At least that's what you told us.
It's
I've
going to
heard
be
he's
difficult. I'm going to
I've
have
heard he's
to.
hideous.
He's hideous. I'm going to have to not lift for a couple of days.
Ooh,
No
are you sure you'll be
skincare.
okay with that?
Yeah, you might even have to stop your skincare regimen.
No, I have makeup. We can. Well, I know Lanny
can
has
fake
some,
it.
right?
All right.
You could do like theater makeup on him to make
Oh
him
no, I
look.
don't have any makeup.
We would.
don't have any
I
makeup.
have.
Just
I
have
have
magic.
makeup. I have makeup.
Oh.
I don't. I just like it. I need.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get blemishes. You know.
Makes sense.
Um.
I have
but-
patches for that.
Oh, wonderful. But
What are
we would never
blemishes?
ask you to stop your skincare routine, Miles.
Yeah, no. Just one day without moisturizing. You see, we saw Grant dribbling, so you know what could
So
happen.
true. A cautionary tale.
You could become parents.
Are we going to I'm serious. Do we legitimately want people to be in disguise except for one of us who has been captured? Because you do seem like you're able to make yourselves look like.
Well, I don't think all of us should be there.
Well, I don't think we should definitely be each other. I think that was a joke. I think if we have somebody go in, maybe we have Lanny go in as disguised as someone not related to us.
Yes.
Well, I do think that Prince Grant would recognize me very quickly, as we did have 2 conversations. I would be
Oh,
glad to
yeah.
go as myself if, Lanny, you wanted to go as a Blackcloudian Royal Guard.
That's a good idea.
Perhaps, and then we could leave Sono completely out of it in case there is a political element to it.
Yeah, because I've heard that Ruffalo. I know, I'm not nearly as handsome as he is, but I've heard he does look kind of
Oh,
similar
I mean,
to me.
you're-
Sono, don't
Very
be so
handsome
unkind
too,
to yourself.
Sono.
You're very handsome. You're actually
You look nothing
precisely
alike.
as handsome as
you
Raphael.
look.
That's
yeah,
so
You guys are
nice.
very similar, like I said.
So I was saying it might be bad if I went. People might mistake Ruffalo as me.
I definitely
And then that would
think
cause
that's
some
possible.
problems.
Yes.
It's
You look
ridiculous.
so similar that people might even think that it's the prince in disguise.
Oof. Can either of you make me not look like myself at all?
Unfortunately, the power that I have, I can only use on myself.
And me as well. Though I do have I do have a little disguise kit. We could see if
Yeah.
there's something, but
Haven't we
That's
heard-
kind of
isn't
what
that
I've done.
Isn't that what we use?
I mean,
how
oh,
we
wait,
use
no,
them?
sorry.
That was out of character.
We could try that, but it's hard to disguise these features.
we could probably make you look something like Ruffalo, vaguely. Though, Miles, I know he wouldn't be as handsome or as muscly or as cool, but I do think we could come close.
Just wear a helmet covering your face or a really distracting hat.
I don't understand. We're having Mark Ruffalo take in Mark Ruffalo to Grant?
No.
I think right now the plan is that
I am
We're never
also
getting off this
confused.
fucking
I think that Faris and I are going to try and get an audience with Grant because Faris befriended Grant when he was in Claudia.
Okay.
And
Am I going to be Ruffalo?
I don't know. I only know that we had thought about me perhaps disguising myself as a guard.
I like that. That's a great Lanny. You're so smart.
And then if we're found out and imprisoned, at least we have some backup.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the three of you could figure out.
And then we'll
something.
figure out who's going to be Ruffalo.
I mean, the four of you, since Ruffalo is also here.
No, I think I should stay on the ship. Ruffalo should
Oh,
go.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, poison night out.
I wanted to mention that at our disposal, we also have a mark, like a royal stamp that we could use to officiate documents if we wanted to try and forge something that says.
Oh, that makes
perhaps-
much more sense.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I got that from Barclay's bountiful booty.
I bet you that's not all you got from that booty.
It's not. I have an idea. So my idea is there has to be someone who makes these uniforms. So we'll use the royal seal to have like a work order put in with the tailor. We'll all get guard uniforms, and then we can use that to infiltrate the palace
I love it.
together.
This is a very solid and less complicated plan
Yay.
than all of this other nonsense. Well, we've got another day before we land. Now, I did have a question because Captain Anna gave me 2 different options. She said that she could try to sneak past the blockade using the cloaking of the polished pearl and land directly on the Isle of Cinder, which is where the capital of Blackcloud is. Or we could do my original plan, which was to drop me off outside of Boulder Rain, which is a smaller city that's more of kind of like a port and export type stuff, and then we would take a boat over to Blackcloud, the city.
Well, which one is safer?
Going to Boulder Rain would be a lot safer, but it
Definitely.
Okay, let's do that.
would take
then.
more time. We'd have to find a ship, all of that stuff.
Do we have the funds to pay for passage on a ship?
I do, yes.
Okay. As long as that's the case, I don't see what the advantage of risking running the blockade would be. Except just that it takes less time, but we could just get shot down and I'll die
Yes.
horribly.
Miles, did you have... I know that you had mentioned something about having some kind of... learning some kind of secrets from a ghost.
I did learn secrets from a ghost. Specifically, it was how to attack Blackcloud Isle airships if we wanted to do that.
So you know their weaknesses.
I know what the ghost thinks the present day cloud ships weaknesses are.
Okay. And
I
who
don't know
was
if they're
this
accurate
ghost? Who was
anymore.
this ghost that you met?
John Sky. Was that his name? John Sky?
John Sky.
Mr. John
Actually,
Sky.
It turns out that John Sky was your grandfather.
You talked to the... Wait, hold on.
Well, now
You talked to the ghost of my grandfather?
He works
I
at the
guess.
library or something.
we didn't realize he was your grandfather at the time. We just knew him as John Sky. And then when Lanny and I were shopping in Barclay's Bountiful Booty, we saw a lovely portrait that had been rescued from a Cloudian airship that was of your grandpapa, and it had his name on the title, and it was the same man.
I mean, if anyone would know how to get past or deal with Blackcloud Islander airships, it would have been him.
Have they changed at all in the intervening years?
know. I'm not a military guy.
Is the captain up to just trying to attack the Blackcloud Islands Navy?
Maybe it's good to know for if we need to escape.
Yes, I think that would be good. But I'm not sure mounting an offensive on our own, even if we know the weaknesses, would
All
be
right.
prudent.
That's real. You talked to my grandfather.
Very imposing figure. Full of hatred.
He seemed to like you a lot.
I never
We
met
got
him.
along.
That's unfortunate to know about him. But
Well,
my dad said that he was a bastard, so, you know.
Oh, well, if you were ever interested in talking to him for any reason, it's possible that could be arranged. Just think about it. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, he lives at the archive, right?
At the Grand Archive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just stuck down there as a ghost.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, I mean, you
Let's
may be better
put
off.
a pin in that.
Let's
and
put a pin in it.
we'll go back to that if we survive.
Hey there, it's your DM and pal Emily. I'm here with just a few announcements. The most important one is thank you so much for listening. As I've said many times before, but I'm happy to repeat, you are the reason why we make this show, and I'm so happy that you are here listening to this. We have an incredible time playing the game, as hopefully you can tell from our copious amounts of laughter. But we could just do that on our own. We didn't have to record that in order to have that fun. You are the people that help keep us going and make us feel inspired to create new, fun, romantic content. Quick reminder that we have a Patreon now, which gives you access to our private Discord. It will give you access to a special talk show called Heart to Heart. We realized that we probably should have called it Foreplay, but we can't change it now because we also have a segment called Fart to Fart. I'm not selling this very well, am I? It's where we're talking about things from the podcast as well as just fun, racy things that we can't necessarily discuss during the actual show. And of course, we have a sensual, spicy stash of stories that expands every month that feature characters from the show and are written and read by the cast of Roll for Romance. So check it out if you haven't yet. You can sign up for just $2 and then you can talk to us on our Discord and hang out and chat, hear us talk about our cats. Tell us about your cats. Again, I'm not selling this, am I? Absolutely no pressure if you don't have the means to become a patron. We still love and appreciate you so much. Another way that you can support us that means just as much is to spread the word about the show. So if you know somebody that might like it, you can just send them an episode, send them a clip, see if they like it. I don't know. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but all the cool, sexy people send their friends clips of Roll for Romance. So you want to be cool and sexy, don't you? Anyway, that's it for this week's announcements. Let's get back to the action.
Fortunately, you've gone on the rest of your voyage. There's no sign of other pirates. Don Carlos has not spoken to you the whole time that he's been in the scabbard, but it's not like he's mad at you. I just think that it probably severs a little bit of your connection when he is within there.
He's napping.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a safe journey. The weather is fine. As you get closer, you definitely can see in the distance there are both floating land masses in the air that don't look like they're necessarily populated. They mostly look like they are just rock. And then down in the ocean, you can see from above a string of islands, but there are two larger ones. And you are dropped off in it's basically if you were coming from out of the country to transport goods, and you see that Captain Anna has like a bunch of fake boxes and barrels and stuff like that, and she's gotten out paperwork that like marks the Polished Pearl as a merchant vessel that's bringing stuff to then be brought to the mainland. So that's your cover as you land and come into this port outside of Boulder Rain. The air here is very ashy and overcast and unpleasant, and it kind of smells a little sulfurous. And you did see as you were flying an active volcano that is chill as far as volcanoes go. It's just kind of leaking lava, yeah.
Okay.
Onto the one side of the island, but the rest of it's fine. It's not like it's
sure
going to
that's
explode
normal.
at any moment. Yeah, it's cool.
Semi-active.
Other than that, it's pretty uneventful. You do see as you are flying in that there is in fact a large blockade. They aren't surrounding this particular island. It seems to be the largest island that they are focused on. But yeah, you land. Things go. I will roll to see if things go smoothly with Captain Anna. As long as you don't interfere, it should be okay because she's pretty professional. So no, is anybody going to interfere, or are you just going to be chill and let her do her thing?
I'll give her inspiration.
Oh, thank you
for putting down
That's
some
good.
boxes.
For convincing people that her paperwork is accurate. That's a total of 15, which should be, let's just do an insight check. They got a nat 1, so everything is legit. Totally legit. The person is half asleep that's checking them in, doesn't care, just wants them to leave them alone. And so you were able to easily disembark. And Captain Anna will just say to you all, well, it's been a pleasure. I'm not quite sure if I can say that, but we'll be hanging around in the area for a couple of weeks. Sono knows how to signal me, and if you find other means of leaving, then just let me know.
All right, so first thing, we need to find a ship. So do we just head down to the shipyard, the docks?
Right now you're kind of in an airfield type thing. There is also a port that is in the city of Boulder, Rain.
Are there any shops in Boulder? I'm just kidding.
So here's the general vibe of Boulder, Rain. Boring, and nobody, like, people will see you and actively not pay attention to you, almost is the vibe that you're getting from everybody. There is a very strong guard presence. You see a lot of people in guard or militia uniforms. Everything is kind of covered in a fine layer of ash, and people are just going about their business. It's a mixture of mostly elves and humans and some earth genasi, a smattering of air genasi, and they are just doing their thing, don't seem to have any interest in you all. It's a port, so there's lots of people coming and going and loading up in this harbor. And you can make an insight check for these people if you wanted to.
Sure.
I got a 16.
Not 20.
6.
You don't care?
Doesn't
Okay.
bother.
Okay.
He doesn't
So,
notice things.
Nat, with your Nat 20, I don't know how to put it. It's a vibe of distrust, maybe, of people who don't look like they're native to the area. Not that they don't like you, but just that, like, they're too busy to give a shit about you, and they don't really want to spend their time getting to know new people. And then also, you happen to notice that along with these more dingy-looking guards, there is a strong presence of people wearing the uniforms of followers of Gunvor, which you had seen before. Who had that vision? Was it Lanny that had the
Lanny
vision?
Had a vision.
That's when
about-
you noticed that as well, that the uniforms of these soldiers are the same as what you saw in the vision of when Grant was being brought on an airship
Oh, okay.
and was surrounded by people wearing these uniforms.
Right. Okay.
There are a handful with the natural 20 people wearing very bright, colorful, like bright flaming red outfits, and people give them a wide berth and are not into them. And you're not sure what that means unless you wanted to make a separate check.
I'll make a separate check. And I got an A2.
Okay, yeah, you're like, whoa, those
That's
guys seem
weird.
fun. They seem fun. But that's about it. It's pretty lame. It's a mid-sized port city. It's the biggest building, the fanciest looking building is a temple of Gunvor. Other than that,
Okay.
it's pretty unremarkable. There are shops. I don't recommend them.
Okay. Let's head on down to get a ship.
So you head down to the docks, and there are a number of warehouses down here as well, and it's pretty busy. As you head towards where the harbor master's office is, you see a very bored and almost sleepy-looking human man talking to a very angry tiefling. They're arguing with each other. He seems fairly disengaged and dismissive of her, and she's yelling at him. As you get closer, you can hear that she is yelling at him about having some issues with being able to bring her cargo to the mainland. And he basically is just like, I don't know what to tell you. My orders are only to let people over there if they're there on official work from the crown. Otherwise, you're not getting in, lady. But I've traveled for months to get here. My goods I will be ruined if you don't let me bring my goods there. So they're arguing. My cabbages. I must bring my cabbages to the city or I will be ruined. They're gonna go bad.
Faris will cut a glance to Lanny, like maybe we could help her out with that seal and ride in with her cabbage boat.
Maybe, but we would have to figure out how we could make that into something that would be an official work order for the Blackcloud Islanders.
Cabbage Fest.
Cabbage Fest. Maybe they're like essential rations or something.
They're the
Everybody
bread of the
needs
people.
and loves cabbage.
Yeah,
I think.
it's very filling.
Could we stop by the harbor master's office and maybe see, like, one of us needs to tell her to hang on a minute and then stop in there and see what an actual legitimate work order looks like. So I'm a pretty good forager.
Maybe we can pretend that we have so many papers we don't know what the order looks like, so we can be like, hey, can you show us an order so I know what I'm looking for?
Exactly.
All right, let's get together a bunch of crappy papers so that we can be like, I don't know which one
Which one is it?
Okay, so you gather up a bunch of crappy papers and go for it. Who's going up? Who's doing what? This human man is still kind of perched outside of the harbor master's office. The door to the actual office is closed, and he's picking at his nails, and he pulls out like a little book out of his pocket and starts to read it.
I have high intimidation.
You
All
go
right.
up with her.
All right, we'll go. And somebody stop that tiefling lady.
All right, I'll go try to talk to her.
Okay, so let's do you guys going in to talk to the harbor master, and then we'll do the tiefling.
Well, hello there.
State your business.
Well, wait. I think I may have misplaced my official orders to bring cabbages. I mean, I heard you talking to that lady and said
What
her
is up
paperwork-
with these cabbages?
Well, I heard Prince Grant has a thing. I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, I'm just have so many papers. I'm not sure which one is the right one. Can you help me?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, Lord. Motherfucker, you better work. Nope.
Miles is also glowering, like, behind Faris at the man.
I guess as a backup, you could try to intimidate him, but let's see what you get with that persuasion check.
9.
He just rolls his eyes and he's like, it's not my responsibility to help you with your paperwork, ma'am.
Well,
Come
of
back when you
course.
figured it out.
Well, of course it's not your responsibility. I was just hoping you could help. My friend here gets so angry when I get everything in a mess and misplaced in my bag.
Okay, make an intimidation check, Mealy.
Got an 8.
We're doing great, guys.
Listen, whatever you do
I just
with
look
your friend
constipated.
is fine. He looks like maybe he's been eating too many of those cabbages. I'm incredibly busy, as you can see. I have a lot of important things to do, and they don't involve talking to either one of you.
Can Hilrana turn into a river rat, like a little rat, and just like run around to the office to see if she can drag a work order out of the trash or something?
Sure.
Rat Rana.
Make Rat Rana, you
Rat
can make
Rana.
a stealth check.
Can I insight check this guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a 22. The question I want to answer is, would he be amenable to a bribe?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, this guy would love a bribe.
Okay, so I'm going to just kind of walk over casually and be like, I know that you're so busy, but I think that we could make it worth your time if you're willing to help us out just a little bit.
Make a persuasion check with advantage. And meanwhile, what did you get with your stealth check?
21.
21. Yeah, you're in there, rooting around in those papers.
I got a 28.
He totally ignores Miles and Faris, and his eyes are locked now on Lanny. He looks a little bit less sleepy. Sure, I could help you out with your paperwork if you know, you had maybe 20 minutes to spare.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. And I look at Sono and I'm like, I could kind of gesture like
Pay the man.
with my pockets opening.
Sono takes out.
Comes out.
Sono will take out. His purse looks surprisingly light, but he'll take out a gold and give it to you.
Will this be enough for your trouble?
It's gonna take about 20 minutes. So.
Faris has 20 minutes. I have 20
Oh,
minutes.
okay, great. Meanwhile, make a perception check, Rat Rana.
Rat Rana. 22.
Rat Rana has found a crumpled up paperwork that looks like somebody had filled it out partially wrong, and so it was put into the trash, but you can easily take that.
Rat Rana squeaks in joy and takes it.
Excellent. So, but you're going to give this guy 20 gold?
Yes, I already counted it out.
Excellent.
Off my inventory.
All right. Here, I'll be right back. And he's going to go into the office. I need to make one more stealth check, Rat Rana, to see if he notices you with a piece of paper as you're leaving.
No. A 14.
You got a nat 20.
Oh, God.
So he's like, oh, shit, not another rat. And he's going to roll an attack and try to throw a dagger at you.
Can Chadley jump on his face?
Chadley's not in there.
Chadley,
So, what is your armor class as a rat?
Melee's is gonna try to grab his hand and stop him
Melee's
from
isn't in
doing
there, is
that.
he?
Yeah, he walked into the office, so you don't necessarily see him. You just hear him yelling, "Oh, rats again!"
Armor class 10.
Oh, surprisingly, he misses just ever so slightly. Your little chunky chibi rat body is able to like waddle. Oh, so cute. And he curses and he's going to run over towards you, and you can then have time to escape with the piece of paper. And he just curses, and he will then go to the desk, get a piece of paper, and then bring it out to you and hold it up to you, Faris, and say, "So this is the type of form you're looking for?
Yes, that's it.
This is what it looks like."
That's what it looks like. Wonderful. And you have a blank one?
This is a blank one. I'm not going to give that to you.
Well, can I just hold it for a second?
Absolutely not.
For 20 gold, you won't even let me hold it. I'll stand right here.
You didn't give me any gold, ma'am. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just showing you helpfully what the form looks like so you can find it within your own paperwork.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a great day. Then he goes back. He's going to go into the office and close the door and start. You hear him rooting around looking for rats.
I hope those rats bite his face off.
Rat Rana shows up by your feet and squeaks at you
Ball of paper.
with a ball of paper.
All right.
I'm rolling it.
Oh, good job. And I give Rat Rana a little pat on the head.
Rat Rana's like,
Oh.
I don't know.
So now you have a partially filled out incorrectly form that you could use to then forge what like the information on it would be.
All right. Do we feel like we need the pretense of having these cabbages? I mean, he did already tell her to leave, so I'm not sure that would be helpful.
I think we just needed her boat.
All right, I'll try and find her.
Okay, make a perception check.
I got a 19.
Oh yeah, you can easily see the form of Ruffalo trailing behind a tiefling woman who stands out from this crowd because there aren't a lot of tieflings down here.
All right, I'm going to rush over and try and follow them.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, you can catch up.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah?
I was wondering if I could just have a second of your time. I think we might be able to help you with get a work order for your cabbages. If you would be willing to let us ride on your ship.
She gives you kind of a once over and make a persuasion check with advantage. She's desperate to offload those cabbages.
I got a 22.
Like I said, she gives you a once over and then she nods. Sure, I'm Captain Elvira, and you are?
Nice to meet you, Captain Elvira. My name's Lanny.
Lanny, a pleasure. And she will shake your hand and say, if you have the paperwork, I'm happy to bring you aboard my ship. Is it just you or are there others?
There's 5 of us.
No problem. Got plenty of room. It's basically just me and a couple other crew members and a shit ton of cabbages.
That sounds delightful. We'll have that paperwork for you in just a few minutes.
Awesome. And she will point out where her ship is docked, and you can kind of smell the faint aroma of cabbages wafting in the sea breeze.
Lovely. Amazing.
I like how she's come from months away with cabbages. These cabbages would have been rotten, but this is fantasy world, so it's fine.
They're magical cabbages.
They've had some kind of preservative spell cast on
but
them.
they're-
Maybe a sauerkraut.
All right. So you didn't gonna forge, Faris?
Yeah, I was looking at my forging.
I'm going to give you inspiration, so it's a real good forge.
22. Tiefling lady would be able to answer questions we couldn't, if there are any, about the weight or the...
Yeah, she can help you with it when you're filling out the paperwork, and then she'll bring it up. And there's a tense moment where we see if this guy can see if it's a forgery or not. No, he doesn't. Also, he's kind of just over it, so he gives it a scan, and he's like, I'm glad you found your paperwork. Now get those cabbages out of my harbor. You have a ship, which is the SS Cabbage Maiden. Captained by Captain Elvira.
Nice.
And her crew of just 2 goblin twins who are very sweet and friendly.
Melee saints, they look nothing alike. Let's just put that out
Yeah,
there.
they do. They're totally
very
different, not
different.
related. So as you climb aboard the SS Cabbage Maiden and get to know Captain Elvira and Rod and Todd, you sail off. It's going to take you about, I don't know, a couple of hours to get over there, but it's not a long voyage. And we'll pick up next time with you arriving in the harbor of the capital city, Blackcloud, and see how things go. Hold on one second. Did you bring your goat with you, or did you leave it on the airship?
I have to bring him with me, right?
Okay, so
we're
you
not getting back on her airship.
I mean,
right?
Goat's
you
wearing a
will.
fake
That's
mustache.
the plan. Was to rendezvous with her again once you were ready to leave, but it wasn't. You don't have to do that. So you totally bring your goat. I'm just asking. It's important for continuity to know if you have a goat with you or not.
The goat's gonna eat all the
Uh-huh.
cabbage.
Yeah. I don't think he would have, if he knows he's definitely rendezvousing back.
Okay.
But you could have promised me as a DM that's happening. I cannot lose
I
this
can't
goat.
promise that that's going to be your escape route because we don't know what happens, but you will eventually see your goat again if you get out of here alive.